We're saying that everything has a right way. It's my way. And when other people don't agree with it, subscribe to it, and live it, that they're wrong. And sometimes we get angry. And it's when we get angry, we go in that whole cycle of, we talked about last week, concealing and withholding and separating ourselves and then projecting and gossiping. We get angry. So how do we deal with that when that happens? How do we transform the anger or even get to a place where we're not angry in the first place? There are a couple of ways we can do this. Here's one. I heard this story this week. There was a couple that was married for 60 years. 60 years. And to be married that long, you got to have some level of honesty and open communication. They didn't have any secrets from each other except one. The wife had a shoebox in the bottom of her closet, and she told her husband, for the whole time of their marriage, don't open the shoebox. And he didn't. To credit, he didn't. And then they found themselves at this point shortly after the 60th year anniversary where she became very, very sick and was terminal and she was fading fast and he was sitting beside her in the hospital bed and she said, go get the shoebox. I think it's time you saw what was in it. So he brought the shoebox and he opened it and he was a little perplexed. In the box was $95,000 of cash and 2 crochet dolls. And he says, I don't understand. And the wife said to him, when I first got married, my grandmother said to me, if I ever get angry with you, don't yell. Simply be quiet and knit a crochet doll. And the man was moved. He's like, there are only 2 dolls here. You mean in the entire span of our 60 years, you've only been angry with me twice. I'm so moved. But where's all the money coming from? And she goes, oh, that's the money I earned from selling the other dolls. Thank you. That's one way we can deal with it, but I don't think that's the healthiest way, because she's not had that experience in the story of mindfully having the conversations and speaking to the anger and what got her there in the first place. So we have a choice to move above the line by a process called reframing. We have to reframe our stories. We have to reframe our thoughts and our beliefs. Professor Jonathan Haidt wrote a book called The Happiness Hypothesis, and he said reframing challenges our automatic stressful thoughts, and it's one of the keys to happiness. Reframing our story challenges our automatic stressful thoughts, and it's the key to happiness. And when we do it, we can feel a sense of well-being in a matter of minutes. In a matter of minutes. Can you imagine being triggered to anger and in a matter of minutes have it dissipate? Some of us hold on to anger for hours, days, weeks, months, years, decades, scores. Right? We hold on. But can you imagine reframing it so that in a matter of minutes, it's dissipated and we see things differently? When we can do that, then we no longer have this need to be right. We no longer have a need to disconnect from others. When we do this, when we reframe, we're now making a commitment to seeing that the opposite of our story is as true or even truer than the original story. And we also recognize that we interpret the world around us and we're the ones who give the stories meaning. This is what it means to live above the line in these situations. To see that the opposite of our story is just as true, if not truer, than the one that we're believing is right.